Reanimal is a cinematic co-op horror adventure where two siblings fight through a nightmare island full of puzzles and chase scenes. There's no native macOS version, so I'll be using workarounds to play it on our M3 Max MacBook Pro. I'll start with the two most effective solutions that I recommend the highest, and then I'll cover a couple of other very good alternatives. But before you choose which one you want, you'll have to buy the game. To help you, we'll leave links in the description to where you can purchase it, and we'll also add links to discounts when such are available. Now let's get to the ways to play it. Here are the two methods that gave us best results. The first one is called Boosteroid, and it's the cheapest cloud gaming service that's actually any good. This is the most plug-and-play solution that we found. The main draw of Boosteroid and cloud gaming in general is that your machine doesn't matter so long as you can supply it with around 40 megabits of stable internet. You can crank up everything to max even in 4K, and you should be more than fine. Reanimal is exactly the kind of game that makes cloud streaming feel like cheating, in the good way. It's heavy, moody, and packed with effects, so letting a remote GPU do the work can save your Mac from turning into a tiny space heater. On Boosteroid, expect sharp image quality when your connection behaves, and the game's big set pieces should stay smooth as long as you're not fighting Wi-Fi spikes. The usual caveat with cloud solutions, the slightly higher latency, barely matters for this game, as you don't really need to perform split-second actions or outmaneuver other players. If you just want to plug and play and don't want to babysit settings, Boosteroid is the method we recommend. All you have to do to start gaming is follow the link in the description, register for the service, and buy a subscription. Then just search for the game and click play. It's all pretty easy, but we have a how-to tutorial if you need it, and an overview of the service if you want something more in-depth to make up your mind. Crossover is hands down the best non-cloud method to play Windows games on Mac in 2026. It will give you the ability to play anywhere you want without internet limitations, and scales better with newer Macs. But you're not going to get anywhere near the graphical fidelity or performance you'll have with cloud solutions. Based on my own testing and on the community reports I've seen, Reanimal can run through Crossover pretty okay. On my M3 Max MacBook Pro with 36 gigabytes of RAM, at 2K resolution and a high settings preset with FSR on quality, I got a satisfactory 40 to 60 frames per second in typical gameplay with dips in heavier scenes. At medium settings and 1080p resolution, I could easily reach up to 100 FPS in calmer scenes with dips down to around 70 in places with more stuff going on. Based on all that, I'd call an M1 Pro or better the minimum that makes sense if you want it to feel consistently playable with Crossover. The main limitations are that the visuals can demand compromises, and you may still see uneven pacing when the game transitions into bigger areas. That said, for local play, this is still hands down the best method. Also, with this method, you can use mods for single-player games, and there's a 14-day free trial. To use Crossover, click the link in the description, enter your email, and download the app. Then, after you install Crossover, you must click the Try Now option for the 14-day trial. If you need a longer tutorial, visit our video on that. Just note that the experience with Crossover can sometimes vary between updates, so don't be surprised if it suddenly starts to break the game. If this happens, check our site for the detailed instructions, or you'll have to research this on your own. Start with FSR set to quality, then bring post-processing down to low. That one change is usually the biggest win in this game's settings stack. Keep shadows on high, keep textures on high for clarity, and use medium for effects and ambient occlusion to stop the chase scenes from dragging. The other methods are a variation of this theme. GeForce Now is the best cloud solution with all the bells and whistles, but at double the price of Boosteroid, it's just not worth it, except for a handful of games which can use the latest and greatest effects. Like Boosteroid, it's very easy to use. You just need to register, get a subscription, download its app, and start the game from it. xCloud is Microsoft's cloud solution, and it's by far the worst of the cloud solutions mentioned here, but it comes with the benefit of being free if you subscribe to Game Pass. Sikarugir is the free DIY version of Crossover. It works great when it works, but it's more inconsistent, less intuitive, and has a lengthy setup. As for the setup, you first need to install Homebrew, then Sikarugir itself, then Steam, and then the actual game. The process takes a bit more time compared to the other methods here, and so is beyond the scope of this video. For detailed guidance on how to set up Sikarugir, just click the respective video in the description and it will show you exactly what to do. If you want the easiest win, cloud gaming is the move for Reanimal. Boosteroid is the simplest version of that idea with arguably the best value to price ratio. You get strong visuals without tuning anything, and it's a solid pick if your internet is stable and you're okay with a tiny amount of latency. GeForce Now is the premium version of the same concept. It can look ridiculously clean and run like a dream with great consistency, but the higher tiers can be quite pricey. xCloud is the convenience play, especially if you're already living in the Xbox ecosystem, but the quality and responsiveness can be more variable depending on region and traffic. Crossover is for those of you who are adamant about playing the game locally. It works, but you need to have the hardware power to get a playable performance, and you're trading cloud simplicity for translation layer quirks and heavier settings work. Sikarugir is more of a wild card here. It also works with Reanimal, but needs more tinkering than Crossover, and if something breaks, you'll have to figure out how to fix it manually, instead of waiting for the next Crossover patch that resolves it for you. So the simple split is this: Cloud is for the best experience with the least hassle, and Crossover is the main solution if you specifically want local play and you've got the hardware to back it up. So these were the best methods for playing this game. If you want to explore more popular gaming titles you can play on your Mac, check the videos that should now appear on your screen, or simply browse through our channel. Also, if you found this content helpful, we'd greatly appreciate it if you liked the video and subscribe to our channel. Take care and see you in the next one.